watching Notepad. I'm your host Ibrahim Sani. We are well into the second phase of the MCO, and while we are getting used to the fact of being confined at home for over 2 weeks now, there are other areas in Malaysia that are currently undergoing enhanced MCO. This includes areas in Kluang, Johor, in Sungai Luis, Selangor, in a condo in downtown KL, and many more. What does that mean? Enhanced MCO literally means lockdown. You can't go even outside to buy food essentials and many other items for your household. And the reason for this, just to state the obvious, is of course to stop the chain of transmission of COVID-19. But for the regular folks, it becomes increasingly important for us to actually diversify how we buy our essential services. And that's why companies like MyGroser, for instance, are upping the ante in terms of ensuring food delivery and other essential delivery items are continued to be kept and continued to be maintained and continued to be delivered to your homes even under extreme circumstances such as this. Because of this, I am inviting a good friend of mine, a person that I've known for quite some time now, Stefan Francis. He's the co-founder of MyGroser. Stefan, again, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. I'm pretty sure times are currently busy for your company. Let's take a look into, or let's do a stock take, pun intended, on the business of MyGroser. You've launched a few months ago. We've had you when you first launched. Tell me more about how you're making deliveries right now. Are your delivery methods being impeded by security services? Do you think that it's easier or harder for you to reach out to your customers? And of course, how do you give the literal items to your consumers? Is there any contact? Is there any way that you need to touch your consumers? Or what's going on right now?
Well, Ibrahim, that's a really good question, especially relevant these days. So a bit of background, MyGroser being an online grocery, we actually operate cloud stores. Now, that's just a really fancy name for what they call in Europe dark stores. It's essentially, imagine your favorite premium supermarket, 20, 30, 50,000 square feet, whatever it is. We built these kind of stores and then sealed it off just for our employees to use. Now, what that allows us to do is operate like a retailer, but at a higher level of safety, a higher level of hygiene, a higher level of freshness. That meant that when this situation came about, we were better placed to just elevate that process even further. Now, the standards we employ, we handle food on site. We have a bakery on site. We also process some meats on site. So sanitation, cleanliness, hygiene, these were things we already had going. What we added to it just before the MCO, however, were a higher standard of business, if you will. We use gloves, masks. Many of our workers started using additional levels of protective clothing, and we also increased the levels of sanitation that we use. So the number of times we cleaned the space increased. The equipment was cleaned more frequently than it was before, and that was fairly quick and certain all the time anyway. Our vehicles are disinfected more often, and in the case of how many staff we actually had on site, our team members, we reduced the numbers in some areas. Non-essential staff have been sent home and they work from there, supporting the teams. So some of our customer service members, they work the same 16 to 20-hour days that everyone else is doing, but they do it from home. And that way we minimize the exposure or potential exposure that we might have to only those who absolutely need to take that risk. And this is really just a testament to our people. They show up every day knowing that they take risks just to try and help people, because every box that we deliver is a family that doesn't need to come out. And that family can stay home and be safe. And we do this gladly. It's how we can help, because we're not doctors or nurses or policemen or members of the armed forces, but we can help by making sure people have the food and drink and groceries that they need. In terms of how we deliver it, we use vans mainly, and some vehicles and trucks. Very rarely do we use motorcycles. We find that it's not really efficient or entirely safe for what we do, but we use it for emergencies. So generally a van will pull up and we can do contactless delivery. So our items are actually packed in thermal control boxes and packaging. And then in there, you also have additional level of packaging. So you take it out, you step up to a customer's house, you place it there, you step away. The customer then is called, they can come out, pick up the items. If there's anything for us to take back, we then wait for them to step inside, we take it and we leave. Our drivers, our delivery teams always wear masks, they wear gloves. And this way we protect our customers, we protect ourselves as well. And this allows us to continue serving throughout the MCO. It's been 12, 13 days now that we've been working 20-hour days. Many of our people are distancing from their own family members. I myself haven't seen my son in as many days as well. Something that he finds difficult to understand, but it's entirely necessary because if we're going to serve, we also need to protect.
What are the things that you find peculiar or interesting during the MCO? What are people buying more of or buying less of, particularly when it comes to these kind of moments right now?
So, funnily enough, the favorite item is still chicken, right? And you know, Malaysians, we love our chicken, whether it's fried or in a burger or in nasi kunyit. We just love chicken, and we're seeing a greater demand of that. We're also seeing indications that more and more people are preparing their food at home. Fresh items, vegetables, fruits, different kinds of meats, we're seeing demand for that. We're also seeing a lot of demand for comfort food, ice cream, snacks, things that people want to take and just feel comfortable at home or remind themselves of perhaps things that they like to eat or places that they've been. In terms of what people are doing, we're seeing a great outpouring of kindness. And that's really great because we started this hashtag, this movement for ourselves, which was Be Kind. Because we saw a lot of people trying to figure out what is the best way to deal with the stresses around the MCO. And really just being kind is a good start. Be kind to yourself, be kind to the person next to you, be kind to the people around you. And we just wanted them to be kind to our people as well, who, you know, they're stepping up and they really want to help, but it would really help as well if we were treated, or at least my delivery teams and my customer service teams, were treated with kindness when they have to interact with customers. A small number of customers are still struggling with the concept. They can be a little difficult, and our teams treat them with kindness then, because we understand that maybe it's not who they are, maybe they're behaving outside of their norm, maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're scared. And this behavior is just, well, we can all help each other and elevate who we are during this period. And perhaps that's one of the really good things that might come out of this.
Okay, Stefan, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll discuss a little bit more about MyGroser and the issue surrounding MCO. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for staying on. You're watching Notepad. Today we are talking about, of course, the home delivery services such as MyGroser. Joining me is Stefan Francis, the co-founder of MyGroser, talking more about the business of MyGroser and in particular how the company is ensuring their supplies is continued to be kept well in order for them to continue on delivering these kind of products to you, the consumers at home. So Stefan, thanks again for joining us via satellite. We just want to understand a little bit better into how you as a company are sourcing the raw products and sourcing the raw materials in bulk. How do you ensure that you guys have the necessary inventory and supplies in order for you to put them on the virtual shelf, so to speak, for your customers to pick it from and put it in their cart?
So, Ibrahim, that's actually a very interesting question, and it's one without a straight answer. We do our best as we always do, and our suppliers do their best as they always do, but to be frank, the MCO is posing some challenges to that. Because of the need to keep the roads clear of unnecessary traffic, to keep people at home where they should be by rights, and to keep people safe, our armed forces and our police have set up roadblocks, and there have also been restrictions on which companies can and cannot operate. Now, this has seen some impact to the supply chain. So suppliers, with the best intention, tell us they're going to be delivering things, and sometimes they don't quite make it to us on time. That has resulted in us having to send out orders to some customers where we've seen in the early days it was 40, sometimes 30% of the product only will be there, and we've had to send this out, and it left some customers dissatisfied. More recently now, as of today, we're seeing 70, 90% completion on orders, and people are happier about that, but they're still not fully comprehending that we can't perform to the same premium levels of service that they're used to. Now, in normal times, MyGroser would deliver almost everything you order almost all the time. And this was just the way we did it. Suppliers could predict when they'd come, they could predict what would happen. Now, not so much. And what we're doing is we've limited the products available on the site. We are focusing on essentials as well as a smaller inventory of products and getting greater numbers of those to come in. This is really to help our customers stay safe, ensure a greater percentage of delivery, and also to allow suppliers to just focus on the essentials: chicken, vegetables, fruits, ice cream, some of the comfort foods that we've seen them asking for, things that they really, really want. Peanut butter, right? Butter, eggs. These are the things that people really, really need to stay healthy and stay comforted right now. And thankfully, our supply lines are stabilizing. We're seeing suppliers come through on that. The armed forces and police are doing a wonderful job. What would really help is if people just stayed at home. I was at a roadblock earlier today, and in front of me, there were 12 cars getting turned back. Now, that's half an hour wasted. Essential services can't get through. Grocery delivery services can't get through. Suppliers can't get through. By being selfish and going out when you don't have to, you're hurting a lot of people and you're hurting yourself.
Right, thanks for sharing this. We'll take a short break before we conclude our conversation with MyGroser. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for staying on. You are watching Notepad. I am with Stefan Francis, the co-founder of MyGroser, talking about the business. Stefan, let's talk about the larger picture here. How do you think food delivery business will behave post-crisis? What do you think will happen now for companies such as yourself?
You know, before the pandemic, we all had plans and business plans, and we kind of knew where we were going to go. And post-pandemic, I think that many of those plans will adapt. For MyGroser, we see an acceleration of our plans, really. We were always built on convenience, freshness, and everyday value. And those three things are ever more important right now. As people feel less secure going out to crowded spaces, they feel less willing to go out into large crowds on a regular basis. And I think people need to pay more attention to where they are and how much time they're spending. They're going to turn to grocery businesses like us, for instance, to get their food delivered. They're going to turn to us for ready-to-cook meal kits so they can also reduce wastage, get more value out of their ringgit, and actually get that delivered as well. They're going to turn to us for ancillary services and the support that they need. And we're well placed to do that. The current situation has forced us to accelerate our capacity by several 100%. It's made us make tough decisions, and we dedicated some resources to this. We've been supported ably by a wonderful technology team, wonderful delivery team, amazing buyers who have accelerated our ability to deliver. So our capacity in just 7 days has again been augmented by several times, leaving us able to help even more people in the short term. But once we go back to normal everyday life, whatever that new normal is, we'll be able to immediately help a far, far greater number of people feel more secure, save time, spend more time with their families, focus on what really matters to them, and leave the deliveries to us. We've also seen the business planning that we did, where we elevated the standards we wanted to adhere to. We elevated the way we handle food preparation. We looked at ensuring quality and value at every step of that supply chain. And that planning has really come in handy now, because we've been able to adapt far quicker than if we'd just taken traditional ways of doing things. We also focused on a purpose-driven business. That's MyGroser from day one. And that purpose has come full circle now, because it's allowed us to attract the right talent, the right technology, the right suppliers, and the right customers for the greater part. I mean, there are some who don't quite get it yet, and we hope they do. But this is the basis of a fantastic purpose-driven business that's going to be able to bring a lot of good into the lives of our customers, into the lives of our supply chain, and it's going to continue employing people, making sure they have a great time. We're all going to make a little bit of money. We're going to be able to improve lives. And ultimately, we'll be a force for good. I truly believe that. And I look forward to it. In closing, I would like to leave one message, and I've been sharing this message with quite a few people recently, and it's difficult times. We're all under a tremendous amount of strain, emotionally, physically, working 20-hour days, some of us, our frontliners especially, mentally. It would do us all a world of good if you could just think about the person next to you. Think about those who don't have access to the things that you do, and reach out a helping hand. Think about the senior citizens who live near you. Have you checked in on them? Think about your neighbors. Do they need something? Think about your family members. Reach out to them and just make sure that, they're okay. Reach out to your friends, especially those who live by themselves. Check in on them. Because the strain we're all going through, it is unlike anything that we have seen. It is a global pandemic. But it's an opportunity for us to rise beyond just ourselves or just the people we know, and rise as a people and a nation and a world, and really be kind to each other and do some long-lasting good. You step outside now and the weather is so much better. The planet's healing. Perhaps there's a call to action for us all to heal in every way we can as well. It's beyond business. It's purpose. And this is a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to do some good and to stay on the right path for as long as we can. So be safe, stay at home, take advantage of this time to be better. And thank you.
Right. Thanks, Stefan. That was Stefan Francis, the co-founder of MyGroser. It's a brilliant way to actually get your stuff and get your items moving forward. I urge you to find out more about MyGroser on their website. But for now, we have to indeed conclude this conversation and draw this conversation to a close. If you've missed any part of this interview, just head on to astroawani.com, look for Notepad over there. You can also watch these kind of interviews on your mobile devices. Just download the Astro AWANI app wherever you get the application. That's it from me for this particular episode. Remember to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe for now. That's it from me. Thanks very much. Until next time.